afternoon, everyone. This is RAND, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, September 24, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be having a time for change call, a really different time for change call tomorrow night, a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. We have reports coming in from across the country on things that are transpiring, and I believe everybody should know about this, and it shouldn't be compartmentalized. One of the things that, we have so many challenges for us, and they're emotional challenges mostly. It's like when you get, and none of us are exempt from this, you get really angry at somebody, or you kind of go off the deep end and eviscerate them or attack them or anything. It's actually what's happening within you. So we cast aspersions at each other, but basically it's about us. And it is a proven fact, however you treat others, you will treat yourself the same way. That's never been, you can't even argue that because it's been proven millions of times. But we don't think about that when the ego mind takes over and we're so really, really hot about something. And to us, it's huge. It's something, it's an emotional reaction, kind of a knee-jerk reaction. It could be something that seems small, but it charges you up on the angry end, and frustration and fear, all these things rolled into one ball. And so we reach out and attack others around us, not knowing the reason we're doing that is because there's something going on within inside of us. And we're not addressing it because we're so, full of this anger. And here comes the heart mind, right? And this is a challenging thing for most of us. One of the most powerful things you can do is master the art of forgiveness. And so someone would say, there's no way I can forgive this being, not what they've done, and I'm so livid, and you're asking me to forgive them? It's like if you're carrying a grudge against anybody, whether it's big or small, you're clinging to a heavy shield around your heart that's weighing you down and negatively impacting you on many levels. And by continuing to be angry or upset with somebody else because they have wronged you, only hurts you in the long run. And it does, every time. Like attracts like. And when we hold on to feelings, how someone has hurt us, we're anchoring our energy in the past and attracting another victim-like scenario in the future. Have you ever kind of stepped outside yourself and looked at stuff and said, wow, this is like the proverbial snowball at the top of the hill, and you push it down, it gains more snow and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it cascades out. We don't really comprehend that. We're not even there with that because we're so derailed, so to speak. But we're attracting more to us because of that anger. And so other things start coming in. And then we say, wow, this is ridiculous. This is all this stuff. Why is this all happening? And then you become more irritated. And then you start questioning yourself, and it expands out. And it attracts more of the same. And so a lot of people are mired in this very low frequency, and they're attracting it because they're in that frequency. Frequencies attract frequencies. And if we don't learn how to forgive and let go of the pain, it's not easy. It is not easy. Some will say it's easy. But man, that's deep-seated within us. How we've been programmed, how we've been directed and guided since childhood. And we all respond similar, different ways. If you have a father that's very upset with himself in life, and he's got a lot of deep-seated issues that when he was growing up and how he was programmed and everything, and he doesn't like himself. So he takes it out on his children, which it's very macabre, because I've talked to a lot of people, full-grown men, that, one instance where very nice man, very, what do you call it, not aggressive guy, very likable guy. And, his father would come home, and this is when he was a kid. He'd be in bed, his father would come in the bedroom, grab him, yank him out of bed, and beat the crap out of him, and then lock him in a closet. So eventually, the mother would come and unlock the closet and help him get to bed. And within a matter of so much time, the father would come back in, drag him out of bed, beat the crap out of him, throw him in the closet. Now, any child, any of us in that situation have indelible wounds or scars that we pick up. Now, we carry that. We will suppress it because it's so horrible. It's such a traumatic thing. But we carry it through life. And in a lot of instances, it's repeated, say. And we put that energy and that frequency out, and it'll attract more and more and more. This is what happens to a lot of people. And, the word forgiveness is derived from the word to give. It's a gift of freedom and healing. And when you give it to another being, you actually are giving this to yourself. You see, whatever, and of course, with such power of the ego mind, we don't step away from that and leave it alone and then watch it and observe it. But we don't put any attention on that. And anybody, it's just anybody. And a lot of people fight that because they say, well, then that means you're weak and, you're easy target. People take advantage of you if you forgive everybody all the time. If they rain on your parade or they steal from you or anything, you're supposed to forgive them. And a lot of people they look at that and say, that's crazy. I want to sock them, or I want to kick them, or do something. I want to get revenge. And as soon as you do that, you will lower your vibration, your frequency, and you'll attract more of that stuff into your life. And it doesn't have to be a big splash. And we interact with each other, but we don't understand ourselves, and we don't comprehend ourselves, and we don't comprehend anybody else. And a lot of the times we don't know what deep eternal love is for ourselves, let alone anybody else. It's like one would say, so if you pummel somebody out of anger, you're pummeling yourself. Absolutely. But not like fist, okay? But emotionality-wise, it affects us greatly. It's very dangerous. And then you can see and watch the civilization for yourself and know that's what's happening in a lot of situations. Because we haven't mastered our thoughts and we haven't mastered our ego mind. And most of the time, we don't even know that the ego mind is in charge. So what you give to others, you give to yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean the identical thing that you gave to someone else, but it will come to you in different forms. The act of forgiving another may not free the other being if they do not accept it. Yet it will definitely liberate your energy. even if the other being holds on to the past grudge all the way to their grave. And I'm sure you've seen this within your own family group or friends in this life where that's been the case. You can still forgive them for not knowing how. Our job is to simply let this past go and trust that everyone is always in perfect divine order. And this universe never makes mistakes, ever. Every act of harm unleashed is pure stimulation for our soul's awakening. The pain does make us wake up, recalibrate our life, and adjust our sails towards a bigger freedom. And the judgments we tend to inflict upon ourselves force us to love ourselves even deeper. The wound inside us creates a womb where new life can be formed. Then it's up to us. I mean, we choose then to give birth to something inside us that is more loving, healing, and creative. And it's imperative that we also forgive ourselves for anything that is less than love. When we do genuinely forgive ourselves, we instantly feel a great lightness that opens our chest and spreads all throughout our bodies. It is a powerful pain to healing that is always available to choose in every moment of our lives. And every day, all of us have the option to let go of our pride and let in the love. Or hold tighter and be right about something unfair or wrong. Now, you choose that you say, I want to become a more sensitive, humble, and deeply loving human being. You must choose to learn the response of forgiveness and compassion. Softening our ego is perhaps the most empowering and enlightening action we can do, as it pulls us directly in contact with our soul. We have, like I said, we hold on to grudges. When we do hold on to grudges, we are actually holding on to the story about what happened along with heavy feelings attached to our story. And when we fully feel those heavy feelings that arise, when we think about our story, we can move through them and underneath them and be curious about what is there underneath our feelings, as it will be something we never thought of before. Notice how you played your part in the drama and take responsibility for the role you stepped into. And when you understand what the payoff of benefit you received by playing this role, no matter how horrible it was, you can then let go of the pattern completely. Now, it's like, I believe we've all been there more than once. When someone mistreats or hurts us, we may either express this pain or repress it. If we were taught to repress our feelings, put on a brave face, go on with our life, we will have many heavy feelings inside us rotting away at our core. All repressed feelings fester deep inside of us and cause us to continue to carry a burden about this life, relationships, people, and this world. And the first step is forgiving. In forgiving is letting go of these heavy feelings, allowing them to turn into lighter feelings. And there's all kinds of techniques that excuse me, can help us release pent-up emotions from the past. One simple way you can do this on your own is writing. You know, call it whatever you want. You know, emotional release journaling. Write about the past event without censoring it. Write from your emotional place and keep writing until you have emptied everything out. Now, you do not read it once you have finished. Wait a few days or weeks before you read it. Now, you'll be tempted to read it, then mind you. But remember, you're the master and commander, so you'll stop yourself from wanting to read it. You can burn what you have journaled and proclaim out loud, I let this go. It's quite effective. If your repressed emotions are very strong or feel overwhelming, then you might want to get with a group of people where everyone helps everyone. Continuously choosing forgiveness. This is all a choice. In every moment we have the opportunity to choose forgiveness. And once we release that, holding on to the past only harms us. We can consciously choose to let it go instead of returning to resentment. Choosing forgiveness is a constant process. It really is. It's not, a little bit here, a little bit there. First, it's for constantly forgiving yourself. And this means you will always choose to feel feelings of lightness, freedom, and healing from the past event. And once you have decided to forgive someone, visualize the person in front of you and say it out loud to them. I forgive you completely for what happened. I love you and thank you for the lesson. Please forgive me for what I have done. Just by saying that, notice how it feels just reading this proclamation in your body. By stating this message out loud, you can create an instant energetic shift in your body. The being can be on the phone, in the room, or simply there in your mind. If you do this in your mind, the discovery is that it must feel real to you. You'll be amazed at how this declaration starts opening up your entire world in many ways you never dreamed were possible. You'll see how it sparks the manifestation of more positive and desired experiences in your life. See, our minds do not have the capacity to rest forever in a state of happiness, because if it did, it would not evolve. Think about it. What if the mind was totally satisfied? What would happen to your world? Would you even look deeper into this question at all? Would you care about anything of any real meaning in this life? And if so, why would you? Throughout our entire lives, this seeking mechanism is one machine we cannot turn off, nor would we want to. We simply have to be deeply aware that this perpetual seeking machine is always running. The divine design of the mind is perfect, and we simply need to understand, comprehend its perfection. Now, if we are to really enjoy this life, find our spiritual journey here, we need to comprehend first that desire is not the cause of suffering. Rather, it's our attachment to desire which holds us to the state of anxiety. To be continuously wanting, wishing, and thinking, I'm sure we would all agree with each other, is utter hell. To be able to rest, relax, and enjoy the radiant, healing, golden energy from the great spiritual light from within is absolute bliss. Now, our minds, they've been embedded for centuries with this ancient, unsatisfied program for one very wonderful reason. A great creativity and manifesting fire gets ignited when we believe the grass is greener, richer, softer, and more lush in the neighbor's yard. And sure, the mind can get crazy and start thinking the neighbors must be smarter, happier, and more enlightened because they have greener grass. Could be anything. They have a nicer car. Their home's nicer. Chances are pretty darn high that the neighbors don't actually have greener grass than you, but you can't tell that truth to the seeking, desiring mind. The good news is that an enormous fire of desire is lit when we see what we just don't have. We just don't have it at all. And we remember that our mind is a genius at believing whatever it wants to believe is true. It can only see a mere fraction of the whole truth. It cannot contain the entire universal truth all the time. It would be out of a job if it had that knowledge. It is a master at inventing super creative stories about your limitations in this world, which fill you up with this amazing experience called insecurity. And these wonderful insecure feelings are perfectly designed to push us onto our spiritual path. They provoke us to dig deeper so that we stop functioning in automatic robot mode and find our real purpose for being alive. Our insecurity causes us to drop the mind games so that we start stoking our real spiritual fire, unleashing our deepest motivation, our highest inspiration, and our richest creativity inside. Great quote from Buddha, which means enlightened, or from Osha, which means enlightened. The Buddha means an enlightened one. Christ means enlightened one. It's not really a name. Unless you become a Buddha, you have not lived at all, because you will not know the great poetry of life, the great music of existence. You will not know the celestial celebration that goes on and on and on. You will not know the dance of the stars. This bliss is for you. All these flowers, all these songs, and all these stars are for you. You are entitled to miracles. We all deserve the best of everything. We were birthed to evolve, expand our consciousness, and eventually become awakened Buddhas. Another version of the definition of Buddha simply means one who has stopped sleeping. One who is aware, self-realized, living fully in the now. It's perhaps the easiest and most natural way we can experience this life. Yet it means We have to unlearn everything we believe to be the reason we are here. Unlearn it all. To stimulate the enlightened path in our lives, we need to create more space and room to grow. We need to feel the lack of something and experience the great emptiness that is all around. And this empty feeling is always available, inherent within each desire that comes from the mind. To reach the enlightened state, we must choose to dive into the mind and let it go. We must choose to let the mind believe that the neighbor's grass is greener than our own, and realize how ridiculous it is to be comparing grass in the first place. And you know, people do that. They have for generations. We must choose to notice all the places in our life where we are comparing ourselves with others, with people we look up to, saying that they have something we don't. We must choose to allow the mind to be brimming with jealousy, full with desire, so much that it implodes into this fantastic empty universe that is exploding with life. Now, when we decide to allow the mind to do what it does, it will eventually, invent some fantastic new organic, healthier way to grow better grass, and one day have greener grass than the neighbors. With a glorious new imagined goal and destination to be entertained by, the mind can provoke us to expand our consciousness, playing its endless games within games inside of itself, just for the pure discovery of all the many multidimensional joys and pleasures of being alive. What else did you want to do with your time here on earth? Great quote from Benjamin Disraeli. Nurture your mind with great thoughts, for you will never go any higher than you think. One word of caution to all of us on our manifesting journey: be very aware of that the mind is like a Jedi master at distracting us from what's spiritually real and essential. And this distraction is also sacred, needed, and divine. For when we finally give up seeking and attend to what actually is spiritual and real, we see how the distraction was not really a distraction, but a truly essential ingredient in directing our path towards a spiritual awakening. It's quite beautiful to sit back and recognize how perfect every aspect of existence actually is. Nothing is actually imperfect or actually as we think it is. Our addictions are glorious. Our perpetual search for something better is deeply needed for our enlightenment. And what we think will make us happy is the essential illusion needed to find the real. This feeling that we are lacking something is that juicy, dangling chocolate on the golden string to get us to come out of our dark caves. Perfection is everywhere and in everything, always. And we're all divine beings right in this very now. The divine being that you truly are is ridiculously intelligent. It is so spiritually smart. It knows where we are hiding and exactly how to get us to come out. It realizes that we would never know what true wholeness was like unless we believed we had a hole to fill. We cannot know what blissful freedom feels like until we experience the most imprisoning, limiting state of mind. The great mystery of this life has this miraculous way of continually teaching us what we most need to know for our enlightenment. There is not a moment that goes by where this universe is not inviting us to dive deeper inside, surrender more completely into the healing depths of our soul. And we are constantly being summoned to come out of hiding. This universe wants us to appreciate this wonderful spiritual gift of existence. It is always giving the God source to us to liberate ourselves from the internal catacomb-like prisons of the mind. We are being constantly welcomed to see everything in our lives with absolute love and clarity. We always have this option to sit down, relax about it all, and understand our life's mission. Right now, we can stop everything and choose to live in total devotion and connection with our heart's spiritual presence. We were all birthed to discover that we are amazing, multidimensional, divine manifesting beings who can create anything we desire. This huge and truly awesome task requires that we unleash our full power and reveal our ultimate treasure inside. The greatest treasure we have is found once we stop the mind and rest at our source of consciousness. And this is meditation, and is the divine doorway to opening our life up to the highest states of energy, love, and consciousness. I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, focused on your breath rising and falling, relaxed into your body. Have you made an attempt to connect with your higher self? Let me describe what it is a bit more. It's the voice that shows up when your mind and heart are open, quiet, and feel free. It's the gentlest voice, which brings the most peaceful quality to your heart. Its frequency makes you shine your inner light even brighter than it did before. It's the part of you who knows all your fears and worries are deep, undercover illusions. It's that inner light of spiritual discrimination that knows the difference between the real and the unreal. Your higher self knows it's infinite, eternal, so it's not afraid of anything or anyone. It's always looking forward to connecting with your heart. It shows you the easiest way home. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. And we will return here Wednesday, September 25, 2024, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call, and a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our time for change call.